Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Man, you is tuning in to the Heavy Hitters Live tonight. Hey, man, it's almost kind of like a prep rally game before Thursday night's matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm your host. I am K Styles, aka the Sixth Man. To my stage left, we got the Senator, Mad Mike Sports. All the way on the other side over there, as y'all know, as the minister, Jew Talk Sports. There you go. And right below him, we got the Summer Hill Nightmare. We got the Don, the icon.
What's good, y'all? Hey, I'm writing the letter right now to the beverage company, the beverage committee, telling them they need to bring those sliced drinks back. Yeah, I know the sliced drinks back in the '90s. They had
Can
them.
you get 2 minutes into the show first? Can we please?
Okay,
Wait, we ain't even a whole minute in the show. He's already talking about food.
I really told them.
He talking about drink. He talking about
It
throwing it.
goes in your mouth, okay? And it's sweet and it tastes good, okay? It's the same thing. Food and drink is the same thing.
Yeah. Hey. We good on that. We good
This,
on
this is
that.
our resident Fat Albert, okay? Just so you know, Rob. This is Fat
That's
Albert.
funny. That's good. That's good. I
Hey,
love that Albert.
And like I said, man, we have a special guest today, man. We got Mr. Riley. Um, man, go ahead, introduce yourself to the people, man. Let them know what you're about.
What's happening, everybody? Very honored to be on with you guys. Been covering sports in Tampa Bay for probably about 25 years. The Bucs, the Rays, the Lightning, little college football, and Gators, Knowles, and all that jazz. USF, but they're having a down year. But lately, I have been the last couple of years, and especially now on this new venture, the 813. I am at the facility every day, every practice, video reporter. So I'm inside the building, see the guys out at practice and games as well. So still honored to be there in the NFL and to being in the facility and looking forward to a big NFC showdown on Thursday night tomorrow night.
Oh, I love it. I love it, man. So like you said, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneer representative of the show and our guest of honor, man. I'm gonna let you go ahead kick this show off. I want you to tell us what have you been thinking about Tampa Bay's season so far, which I'll be in 3-1 right now. I know, a lot of people may not have thought that Tampa would start off like that. They may have thought that we was gonna start off like that. But what do you think is the biggest surprise that you've seen in these first four games for y'all?
You know what? I think it's not that it's a surprise. Everybody outside of being around here in Tampa Bay had said the Atlanta Falcons are by far best team in the NFC South with Cousins, the additions that they made. Everybody has been predicting the Atlanta Falcons. I think the biggest surprise was the first two games in the NFC South with the Saints that put up the amount of points that they did. And that's very hard to do in the NFL. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers were under the radar. They don't mind that. After the GOAT left, Tom Brady, they were 70 some $1 million in cap hell, couldn't afford players. They got Baker Mayfield. It was Baker Mayfield's last chance. They got him for cheap. He came in here. The general manager, Jason Light, was saying it's very hard to follow like a legend, a guy with 7 Super Bowl rings. And so Baker Mayfield, it was his last chance, honestly, to be a starter. You bounce around like that, it's NFL not for long. You're going to be holding the clipboard. That's about it. So he came in. He didn't know anything about Tampa Bay. It was funny. The first press conference that he got here, he's like, all I know is they tell me that the fans like the Lightning, and I know it's hot. And a Texas guy, he didn't know anything about Tampa Bay. And so as the time went on, they made him feel like he was wanted. He started liking it. He became best friends with Tristan Wirfs, who was he was a starting right tackle. They moved him to left tackle. They became buddies. Their wives had kids at like the same time. So they've been real, real tight. He's starting to hang with the offensive linemen. He's starting feeling good. And we know what happened last year. They ended up winning the NFC South. I know it was a down division, but they won a game in the playoffs. They pretty much dominated the Philadelphia Eagles. And then they went to the end with the Lions in Detroit, and that's a tough place to play. And so, all right, they started feeling, all right, man, maybe we got something here. But again, here come the Atlanta Falcons in the offseason. Everybody is predicting them. And so, okay, they're flying under the radar. The first game against the Washington Commanders, they dominated. But we're seeing now how good you could see. Ty Bowles would say, Jaden Daniels, he's going to be something. So you want to get a rookie early in his career, early in the season. The second game going to Detroit, they lost 2 times to the Lions last year. That's a good team. Campbell, good coach, good players, and very loud and a hard place to play. And they won. So now it starts shifting. Oh, the Bucs, they're good. Oh, Baker Mayfield. They actually got cocky. They took the Denver Broncos lightly. They thought that they were just going to roll, and the Broncos with Bo Nix embarrassed them. And so Baker Mayfield, London, even Bowles is like, look, but I told you didn't do anything. And so they got embarrassed. And then they came back last week and they pretty much handled business with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think going into this game, but a short week, everybody's got injuries, but they had 19 to 20 players on the injury list last week. They got several starters in again, and it's a very short week. And you got to play on the road in Atlanta, and that's going to be loud in a jacked up environment. So I still think that there's nothing. The big one, they're pretty good. They're solid, but they don't think that they're going to be able to beat the beat the Falcons tomorrow night. So I think that's where we are right now with the Bucs, guys.
Okay. Okay. All right, man. Go ahead and give a shout out to the people that's in the chat right now. Like I said, appreciate the insight on that. Rob, let me go ahead and shout out some of the people in here. Got King Treyway, got Horace Miller, Lee 85, Engine number 9, Jerome, Sonia, what's going on? Nathan Floyd, Southside, Andrew G. We got Busted Knee Sports. That's
What's
the
happening?
homie. That's the homie from last week. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all show some love. Hey man, hey Rock, you said you got like a channel you want to plug right quick before we get right into the discussion?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm on social media. I'm at Real Rock Riley, RealRockRiley, and all my stuff is there. I got a podcast, The Rock Stops Here. Interview those that have made it to the top in sports and their entertainment, or maybe after the limelight. How hard is that? So that's what I got. Is my podcast, and then it's the 813 because Tampa's got an 81 area code, but we got a new venture, the 813.tv. And like I said, a lot of video, a lot of short, we don't have long articles because people just don't want to read long anymore like that. Make it short, make it quick, and do videos. That's basically what we're trying to do. We'll say it's a new venture, but we're giving it our all.
Okay. I
The,
like that. I like
Got
that.
that
Thanks for
right.
the plug.
the final
Hey, no,
book. That's what we call you, man. The final book.
On a book.
the final buck. All right, man. So let's go ahead and get to this discussion on this matchup. As we've already heard the synopsis from Rock. Jew, you the minister. I want to let you go ahead and run point, man. What do you think about this matchup tomorrow?
Yeah, kind of how the what the Rock said. I'm a piggyback right where he left off. I talked about this going into the season. The Falcons was the team that everybody said is the team to beat, but I always feel like to be the best, you got to beat the best. So if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And they've run the division the last 3 years. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been the champs in the NFC South for the last 3 years. So personally, I feel like they were the team to beat, even though the Atlanta Falcons were the favorite to be until somebody dethrones the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've been running the division the last 3 years. They've been the division champ. So this is a big game for us, especially because it's at home, especially because this is a game where Matt Ryan goes into the Ring of Honor. So we know that these guys are going to want to go out there and rally around Matt Ryan and try to win this game for him. But at the end of the day, as I always say, you got to protect home field. And if we want to continue to get the support at home, and give these fans something to cheer about as Atlanta Falcons fans. Continue to build that winning culture is going to be huge. But I'm really not looking at this game as going to be like an easy game. We know when it's NFC South matchups, you throw the records out the window because it's a division rival. Even though they're banged up, we know that a wounded animal is dangerous. You back a wounded animal in the corner, they're gonna come out fighting. And if it's one thing about Baker Mayfield that I love about him is that he's a fighter. That guy, as he said, he going to Tampa. Nobody gave him a chance when he left Cleveland. He's been, a journeyman. He was with the Rams for a little bit, with the Carolina Panthers for a little bit. Now he looks like he's found a home there in Tampa. And like I said, even though they're banged up, they're going to come in ready to play. We know that Todd Bowles is a defensive-minded head coach, very aggressive as far as blitzing and things of that nature. So I expect those guys to come in and play hard because they have champions on their team. Mike Evans is a champion. Chris Godwin is a champion. On that defense, Levante David is one of the better linebackers over the last decade. So these guys, even though they're shorthanded coming in on a short week, those guys are going to be ready to play, and they're not going to just roll over because we played well last week and beat New Orleans. Those guys still think that they're the best in the division, and until somebody dethrones them, they are the cream of the crop right now in the division. So we got to go out there and protect our home field.
All right, Don, what you got on that, man? What you got on that?
Tomorrow, man, we just really just gonna have to put pressure on Baker Mayfield. I know, especially these past couple of weeks, man, our pass rush has just it's been lacking. But we cannot let Baker Mayfield just sit in the pocket or even just get out the pocket and make plays. We have to neutralize that tomorrow. What you said about Todd Bowles, we know he's a defensive guy, and his specialty is pretty much stopping the pass. So we definitely gonna have to just play solid tomorrow. We do not need any interceptions because we already know when with Tampa Bay, when they get an interception, what they like to do next. They want to get another. They'll create another turnover. So we cannot have that domino effect of turnovers tomorrow like we had week 1 when we played Pittsburgh. We know we're going to be out. We're not going to have Troy Anderson out there this week. So I don't know if they're going to elevate Rashaan Evans to the main roster. That'll be the smart thing to do. I just do not trust Caden Ellis, man. Him and JD, you putting a rookie out there, you asking them to, stop everything in the middle with Tampa Bay, and that's asking them to do way too much. So hopefully Rashaan Evans, in my opinion, can get elevated so he can play alongside Caden Ellis to help him out. Our secondary has just still been playing solid, so I really can see our secondary holding their own against Mike Evans and the other receivers Tampa Bay have. So I'm not really worried about that. But we have to get in the backfield and make plays. We got to get some sacks tomorrow, man. So home crowd, we gotta be up on y'all feet. Y'all gotta make some noise. Y'all gotta be loud. Just like how y'all was loud and they were good on Sunday. I need y'all to have that same energy tomorrow night. I'll be in attendance tomorrow as well because I gotta show my love for one of the best Falcons players to ever put on the red and black jersey. So I'll be there tomorrow as well. So.
And one of the biggest things about this game, and I always say this is a key, especially in a division game. And like you said, I'm gonna let Rock go after I say this. Uh, I'm just like emotions and disciplines have to be in control, man. Cause like you said, division game, anything can happen. You already know it. Like what you always say, it's always 1, 2 to 3 plays. Whether it be a big play, a negative play, or no play. That could be the difference between you winning and losing this game. But, Rock, what do you think is the biggest key for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to pull out a win against the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow?
Bowles says this all the time. Now, and Baker Mayfield has told some of the younger guys, they are not that good that they can get away with turnovers or penalties or mistakes and be able to win. They're a solid team. They're not a real good team. Like I said, they're solid. They really haven't been committing penalties. They had a problem with their tackling. 2 weeks ago, Bowles during the week had them do tackling practice. You never see that in the NFL during the regular season. I know during the preseason, the Steelers head coach, I like him, he used to be here. He'll have them do live tackling practice, but most teams don't even do that anymore. So, and that was they was getting away from them. So I really think again, they're saying I think the band is right. You got to you got to try to get pressure on Baker Mayfield. Now, last week in that Eagles locker room, Eagles defensive players were saying, "He get Baker Mayfield. He was getting rid of him real quick." He does. He knows this system pretty good. He knows Evans. He knows Godwin. He's got it down, so he gets rid of it quick. It's hard to get him down. And he's also been pretty elusive. Their running game is not that good. And if they don't have a running game, they got Bucky Irvin. He's a rookie. He's shifty. Rashad White has not done much at all this year. And their
2.8.
blocking their blocking has not been that good. So if the Falcons can shut their running game, I think the Buccaneers will be in trouble. Two of their starting wide receivers, Trey Palmer and Jalen McMillan, are out. So that means if Jimmy Lake takes away Evans and Godwin, it's hard to do. Evans says, put me on one-on-one. It's very hard to contain him one-on-one. You only got two wide receivers. So if they can contain those two, Baker doesn't have his outlet guys in this game tomorrow night.
Hmm, I like that. I like that. All right, Mike. How you how you looking at this game? What's your key? What's your key for this game, man?
Uh, um, I honestly, I don't think this game is going to be close as people think it is. I just don't see Tampa Bay as being as good. That I think for the most part, um, you can rely on Godwin, you can rely on receivers, you can rely on Baker Mayfield. But one aspect of this Falcons defense that's been absolutely amazing is those two guys in the middle. Grady is not getting sacks, but he and Onyemata have been absolute terrors in the middle. And you have a guy like Taquan Graham, although he's one of the guys that's like he can be pushed around, but for the most part, he's been extremely athletic in the middle, wreaking havoc and getting in the backfield. So for me personally, I think the middle of this, again, this is the second week I've said this, the middle of the Falcon defense is where the strength is. And I don't think that Tampa Bay has enough to contain both of those guys, Onyemata and Grady Jarrett, from what I've seen. So, and without a running game, you have Rashawn, like he's averaging 2.8, all right, 2.8 yards per carry. That's horrendous. If you want to beat the Falcons, you're gonna have to run the ball well. So I like if they don't run the ball well, this is gonna be an ugly game for Tampa Bay.
Hmm. All right, all right. Jew. What player are you looking for in this game to be that X factor? Who is your X factor for this game, man?
So I'm gonna go on the offensive side of the ball since Mike just talked about the defense because I did mention Grady and Onyemata. I think at the teeth of the defense on our defensive side of the ball, but on offense, I really feel like Darnell Mooney is gonna be that guy because for whatever reason, him and Kirk Cousins, it seems like those guys are gelling. And Mooney is a big time playmaker. I kept telling people prior to the season, don't look at just the stats in Chicago because we know Chicago is just not known for having good offense, just in general. The play calling was not good. Justin Fields was not good there as far as understanding how to throw the ball with anticipation. And Kirk Cousins likes wide receivers that create space. know how to get open, know how to run routes, be where they're supposed to be. And we've seen Darnell Mooney this year. He's been a big time playmaker, whether it's causing pass interference like we seen last week to get us in field goal range, whether it was in the game against the Eagles on Monday night, where in that last drive he had the quick out routes, get us into field goal range. In that Philadelphia Eagles game when they brought the bomb blitz, him making the play, scoring that touchdown, going up against Gardner Johnson. So I really feel like in this game it's going to be Darnell Mooney. I think he's going to be that guy that's like similar to being an X factor because Dean is the only cornerback in Tampa that kind of, to me, scares me or thinks that he's like an all right corner. I keep saying it. Tampa's really young on their back end. So I really feel like Kirk Cousins, I really feel like he's going to have his first 300-yard game. I said this Tuesday during my show. I really feel like they're not going to have an answer for all of those weapons that we have. But I really think that Mooney is going to be the guy because opposite of Jamel Dean, I really don't feel like it's anybody that can hold Mooney one-on-one with his ability to run routes. He's a big-time playmaker, especially down the field. So I think he's going to be that guy to watch in this game.
My bad, y'all. I didn't know I was muted. Like I said before, I get shut up, Mike. Shut up, Mike. Shut up, Mike. Don't do me
I
like
didn't
that.
say anything. I didn't say a word.
Nope. No. That head shake said everything I need to know.
Well, nope.
Nah. But for real though. Like you said, shouts out to the Lady Birds. We got OG Sam coming on after us. And like you said, if you missed everything Atlanta sports with Will the Georgia Reaper, make sure you go ahead and recap that as well. So going back to it, hey man, Rock, what players are you looking at to be the X factors for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man?
Well, surprisingly, the young corner Zion McCullum has played lights out. It's incredible on how he's got a twin brother plays on the Philadelphia Eagles. He really has been. He's probably been one of their best defensive guys in the backfield. Jamel Dean's been up and down. And the other thing is, they don't have the highest paid safety in all the NFL, Antoine Winfield Jr. He has been out for several games. And I think that might come down to a factor. Jordan Whitehead is a bumper and he's strong, but he's been kind of up and down. Also, when you were talking about the middle of the defense with Atlanta, that is a very good point because they got Graham Barton, who is a center, and he's out of Duke. Baker, they won't like him. He's smart, but he's a rookie. And the two guards, it's been kind of their weak position. Benson and Cody Mack. Now, Tristan Wirfs is a beast. He hasn't played beast mode like he has been. And on the right side, their right tackle, Genke, has been out of concussion protocol for several weeks. So that is a factor at the offensive line. And I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't been able to get their running game going. I remember Brady, and Brady would come in after one loss last year. Maybe it was his last year here, and he came out and he goes, they said, "What happened?" He's like, "It was a pass fail." When the opponent in the NFL knows that you're just going to pass, you can't win. So that is a big factor. Now, Bucky Irving is pretty slick, but he also had a hamstring, so he wasn't at 100% last week. And again,
Mhm.
Rashawn White is out there. So I don't know. I mean, they're solid. They don't make mistakes. Todd Bowles is a defensive wizard. 3 games, he has done an unbelievable job with the game plan. One game, he got out-coached by Sean Payton with the Broncos. He did not have a good game, but you guys are right. He's a defensive wizard. Even in this last game against the Eagles, he wasn't bringing blitzes. He was disguising coverage, and then he started bringing blitzes. So that's what they're going to try to do. They've been saying to try to got to get to Kirk. Or Kirk Balls was like, we're very familiar with him. We knew him in Minnesota, but other than Jefferson, Todd Bowles says, I think he's got more weapons with the Atlanta Falcons than he had with Minnesota. So they're giving
Mhm.
a lot of respect, even though Bowles is 2-0 against Cook. It's a new game. I just think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be blown. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Mhm.
Mm.
Right. All right, dog, man.
I
One. Okay, don't take all of them because you like to take all of them, just like you take all the food.
only give one, man. Who? Who you? All right. So this player that's I think going to be an impact in this game tomorrow. This man has been in his bag, and he's like an unsung hero for these past few games. Mike Hughes. I feel like Mike Hughes. He's going to have a solid game. Um, I don't even think. To be honest with you, I don't even think Baker Mayfield is not even going to target this guy.
So you think you say AJ Terrell may be the possible target?
Yeah, because Terrell's going to be on Evans most of the game.
Hmm.
Okay, I like that. All right. Okay. I'm about to say, I was thinking you was gonna keep on going. Like I said, we was
Yeah,
agreeing with you.
this Mike Hughes, like I don't know if everybody agree with me, but he's been solid this entire season so far. Like, and I remember in the game when we played against Philadelphia, like he didn't get picked on at all because he did his job. He played tight coverage. Like he whoever he's defending is they can't get open.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So definitely, from what I'm thinking on this game right here, um, like everybody has already stated with Todd Bowles and how he's going to want to be aggressive. Like you said, since Antoine Winfield Jr. is out,
Yep.
we don't know if they, like I said, what I'm thinking what may happen is because you don't have that deep safety, that safety of his caliber back there, you're
Mhm.
going to try to crank up the pressure more. Now we just found out that Caleb McGarry may be back. He may be ready to go, but that center position is a position that I'm watching out for more than anything because most of those blitzes are going to be coming from that A gap.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Ryan Newsel, Matt Hennessy, whoever's going to be starting there, you better have your hard hat on because they coming for it. So I think in order for the Falcons to win this game, Ryan Newsel is going to have to be this X factor. He's going to be able to have to contain that blitz.
Vita Vea, he gonna try to open up a hole and not line
Hmm.
that field. So
Exactly, exactly. So, um, anybody else, any other final thoughts on this game or right here? Before we let Don take over and let him get a couple of his segments in.
I'm
I'll
not
just say
taking.
this last thing, Kay, before Don go. You made a great point about Ryan Newsel because we know that Kirk Cousins is not running anywhere. So if they do crank that blitz up and we not reading it correctly, we in trouble. We're gonna have to run the ball. I said we're gonna have 300 yards passing, but if they start get the blitzing and we can't pick up the blitz, we in trouble. We're gonna have to just turn around and hand the ball off Kirk because we know Kirk ain't running nowhere. I seen him last week try to take off a little bit and he won't go nowhere fast. So at the end of the day, we know he want to sit in that one spot and throw the ball. So if they start cranking up the pressure, we're gonna have to go back to what we did last week and unleash Tyler Algier, unleash Bijan Robinson, and try to be physical. We're not gonna be able to throw it around, throw it around to these different weapons. But if these guys pass protect the way that they did the last couple weeks, then I think Kirk could have a big game. So that's a great point you make by Newsel being out there. He gonna definitely have to pick up that pressure because we know that those linebackers are gonna be coming on blitzes.
And Lord have mercy, they gonna be rushing fast. I was gonna say something else, but like I said, I ain't want to get that mistaken for some of these fools. They got the wrong mindset. But we gonna go ahead and let Don take over. Don't worry about it, Mike. It ain't been said. We got
No,
two
I'm just
segments.
worried about the little soda shot you just really just. All right,
But
okay.
I did first of all, I wasn't talking about you, man.
Okay.
I said that the Buccaneers linebackers was gonna be coming through. There, I said it. Some of
Mm.
these folks in this damn chat gonna be taking that the other way, and I wasn't trying to go there with that.
Diddy ain't in the chat, so I don't know what you talking about,
Yeah.
man.
No baby oil over here. But
Lord
But
Jesus.
like you said,
All right.
we have two other segments here. Is our throwback segments for our guests, and we got the Bit Back Minute with Don. So I'm gonna let Don kind of bring us into the throwback segment of the show. Take it away, Don.
All right, y'all. So, final book, Rock.
Yes.
So, how did you become a Buccaneers fan?
Well, actually, I would say I really try to play like I've been a reporter, anchor, host for 25 years down here. So
Hmm.
my thing is, in order to get ratings, like you got to call it like it is. And that's fine if you're just a Bucks fan or trying to get close to some of the players. I've always tried to stay away from that because what happens is if a player does bad or the team is playing bad, you can call it like it is. Fans are not stupid; they're smart. So, I mean, it's hard when you're giving a team and you see these guys. The majority of guys are good. Majority. Now and then you're going to have some bad apples. And over the years, I've had some. It's just like in life, in your jobs or whatever. You're going to have some that are jagless or jerks. You know what I mean? And I've had that for the most part, what I found now is, especially like some of the younger guys that are in the league, they realize how fortunate they are. They realize how much money they're taking care of their families for good. You know what I mean? And so I don't find a lot of guys that aren't because they see how big of a business it is. How many people want to be them? And you get to training camp and you got 80 some guys. You go in the locker room and they have usually lockers that are in the middle of the locker room just to accommodate. Some guys are sharing a locker. And then when they have final cuts in one day, they used to have them spread out. Finally, they never see these guys again. And they realize, wow, I'm here. So for me, it's an honor. When I go through that gate every day, even though I've been doing it a long time, whether it's Major League Baseball, hockey, NFL, it's an honor to me to be there. You're at the top of the top. And all of these guys that have made it to here are the best of the best. That's why it's the NFL. That's why it's so good. It's the Carolina Panthers. The first 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my God, this is some of the best football I've ever seen. We're never going to win a game. And they look so good in week 3. You see it all the time. So you never take any team for granted. And it's only a short season. And that's why I love it. And that's why I think fans love it. Sometimes in college, yeah, now and then you get the upset, but for the most part, you're going to see the teams that are in the playoffs at the end. They're there. The NFL, man, you got to go week by week. That's why I love it.
Okay.
So who was your favorite Buccaneer player of all time?
I would say along for either you're a little older, you would know. If you're younger, you don't. It would probably be the late great Leroy Selman. I
Okay.
mean, he's almost like a Tony Dungy type, like a special man. There's something special about him. There was. He was a beast on the field, but such a total gentleman. Um, Going back when the Bucks won the Super Bowl, Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson was such a good dude. And at the year that they won the Super Bowl, I mean, his arm was shot, but he got it done. Yes, they had a great defense. You can go down the list. There's been quite a few. There's been some other guys that are out there. You know, a lot of times what I have found over the years, the majority, not all, but the majority of wide receivers are divas. They care an awful lot about their numbers sometimes over winning. I've seen that. just in a big broad spectrum. Overall, most guys are thankful that they're where they're at, and that's what I found. And I'm also just like you and me, man. Other than they make a ton of money.
Mm.
I like that. I
Jew,
like that. I like that. Go ahead, Don. My bad.
Jew, what about you?
My favorite buck of all time,
Yeah.
I probably would say Rondé Barber. Rondé Barber
Oh,
just for the mere fact that he was undersized. Like me personally being a guy that stands about 5'9", I understand like the underdog, and I really feel like Rondé Barber, he's similar to like I always talk about on our team, Clark Phillips. Like when you're a smaller guy, a lot of times you're underestimated, especially playing football. But Rondé Barber was tough as nails, a guy that was very smart, and a guy that played for a really, really long time. And to me, I think that he was just the ultimate professional. So to me, Rondé Barber was that guy for me for the Bucks. Just one of those guys, a Super Bowl champion, but a guy that did it at the highest level for a really long time. And he's actually from the state of Virginia as well. Him and his brother Tinky Barber. So I think Rondé is just one of those guys that will go down as one of the best. I believe he's a Hall of Famer now, but Rondé was special, man. Really good player.
so I can give you a little Rondé Barber story. So when he came here, he did not start, and there was a time where he didn't know if he was actually going to make it. Yes, he was too small and all that jazz. His brother Tiki goes to New York. His brother was doing TV while he was with the Giants. Rondé was very quiet, living here in Tampa Bay. He didn't let's like play a lot of golf, and he was like totally different than Tiki. And what would happen is Tuesday is normally the off day. And back in the day, before they had their iPads, they would have to come in and watch film in the facility. Rondé Barber every Tuesday. A lot of times Tuesday, the only guys that would go in were guys that have to get treatment. That's your off day. Monday after a game, you get the lactic acid out. You watch with your positions, and the whole team watches film. They're kind of brutal on you if you didn't do good. Tuesday's the off day. The coaches really stay around the clock. They put in the game plan. So Wednesday, when the team comes in, this is most for most NFL teams, 6 o'clock in the morning, they're ready to go. And Randy would go in every Tuesday and study film. That's how those guys become great. And he
Yeah.
had such a great career. He became a Hall of Famer. I got an invitation in the mail to his Canton, Ohio, to his party. I mean, I played it, and I couldn't believe that he remembered. He did a few things with me on Bader's name, and I was like, "Oh my God, I got to go to this." It was unbelievable the former players, his former like, teacher in high school, this guy, Bruce Arians, at Virginia Tech when it was friend almost like he was friends with Randy and Tiki's father. He used to babysit Rondé and Tiki, serious. He roomed with Rondé and Tiki's dad. That was unheard of at the time. He was there. It was an unbelievable thing. He's such a good guy. He's not cocky at all. That I'm glad you brought him up. Thank you. He is one of my all-time favorites. Just a good family man, good guy.
All right,
Hmm.
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I when I played football, Rondé was one of my guys I looked up to because at the position. So very, very cerebral type of player, man. Um, Go ahead, K Styles. Who your favorite Buccaneer?
Well,
See, everybody.
I'll say it for him. I'll say it for him. All right. Should I say it for you, or you want to go
Let
ahead?
me let me do it. Let me do it because because for everybody that's watched this show for a good little while, I always said there were two players was the reason why I love the running back slash fullback position. It was Jerome Bettis and Mike Allstott.
Yeah,
Those two guys, especially Mike Allstott, um, the brutality in which he ran with was something that I tried to emulate a lot. And I actually did. That's a long
Yeah,
story.
you
I don't
almost
know
had
how.
somebody mom sue you, so that never mind.
Yeah. That was a middle school incident. We ain't going down that road. But 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 like you said, that's my favorite player. But I wanted to switch it up here. I wanted to say another name because I think this guy really didn't get. He got respect and he was feared by Falcon fans a lot. And if you know who I'm talking about Mr. Simeon Rice.
Yeah.
He terrorized Mike Vick for so long. that 0-2 Tampa, that Tampa 2 defense in 2002 was just something. At that point in time, you had the 2000 Ravens defense. That Tampa team was just nothing but speed, but they was just big, but they were fast. And Simeon Rice, he's just one of those guys where nobody really gave him the respect he had. Even when he was in Arizona, he was a 13 and a half sack a year type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He gave
Right, so
Bob Woodfield hell.
I got Simeon Rice story. So Simeon Rice used to have his locker next to Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp could be brutal to reporters. He would have chew. He would put a white
Oh,
towel
I
right
remember
down
that.
by his feet, and he would spit. He would spit on, close to if you were close to it. And if you asked a dumb question, oh, he would rip you a new one. And Simeon would always be laughing his ass off because Simeon would have a locker right there. And Simeon would come out, he would come out with these things and phrases. And I remember I went up to Simeon one day and I said, Simeon, people say that you're out there. And he goes, no, I'm not. I'm right here. I'm like, that's pretty good. He was an incredible athlete. Could have been an NBA player. Very, very good. But he was different. On Monday, like I said, Tuesday was the off day. Monday, he would fly. He can be the NBA on Wednesday. Just a different kind of a cat. You're right. I don't think he got his due, but just a phenomenal athlete. And honestly, a good dude.
Yeah, boy, that boy. He terrorized Bob Whitfield, Mike Vick for a very long time. Just like how Julius Peppers used to. It was just, and we already knew that Derrick Brooks got the love. We knew that Warren Sapp got the love. Like you said, Rondé got a little bit of love, but nobody really ever talked about Simeon Rice like that and how much of an impact he made on that defense. So
Yeah.
There you go.
What
I'm
about you?
surprised you didn't bring up Warwick Dunn. You know he was loved in Atlanta. He was certainly loved here. And I think he did even better when he was a Falcon. How about Warwick Dunn? I know you guys must love him.
oh
Oh,
oh
I
oh
talked about
oh
that. I
Uh,
talked about that
yeah,
this
we look.
yeah, my past show. My past show. I talked about
Really?
Rick
yeah
Dunn.
oh oh
I think
oh
he's
yeah
one of the
what
most disrespected running backs in Falcons history for sure. That's what I know.
hmm
Yeah.
definitely.
Awesome.
Oh, we love we're done. So
Yeah, great guy. What he does for the single moms and families and so many, and now he's even building. I saw him
Hmm.
at the Super Bowl. He was like, "No, now I'm building communities besides just that." Incredible. Lot of
Hmm.
respect for him, and that also helped All-Star in those years. They called it WD-40. Remember that he was in the
Hmm.
backfield
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Mike All-Star. No, Warwick Dunn
Hmm.
was one of the all-time greats. Great person.
yeah. So Mad Mike, who's your favorite book?
I don't have a favorite Bucks player. I have a Bucks coach. I think he's the most disrespected NFL coach of all time, and that's Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
All the football that we're seeing right now, especially on the defense side of the ball, we owe it to him. The three tech, he made these guys like Simeon Rice, the fast, quick defensive tackle like Warren Sapp, like he made those guys shine even more than because like being big, you had to have big in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You had to have big defensive tackles, guys that weren't necessarily fast. When Tony Dungy, he killed all that. So we owe the NFL right now, owe it to Tony Dungy for what we see on the defensive side of the ball today.
Okay.
And what an incredible man. I don't know if any of you guys ever
Yes,
had a
that
chance to
part
meet
too.
him. He's special. You can tell. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, Warren Sapp, great defensive tackle, but he was something else. And do you know what? Dungy never swore.
Yeah.
Never swore on an NFL field. Yet they would feel, the players would tell me, they would always feel like they knew when they did wrong. They didn't want to do
Mm-hmm.
wrong and Warren Sapp never got in trouble when he was with Dungy. So at
Mm-hmm.
the time, they were living in the same community, this gated community called Avila. And you know what Warren told me? And Tony, I mentioned this at Monday's party when I saw him, and he loved it. He would write a letter on what the off season, what he wanted from Warren to make Warren better each coming year. And he would grab it over and put it on his doorstep in his neighborhood in a handwritten letter and note. And Warren would look at that and stare at that and say, I'm going to do that for Dungy. That, man, who does that at the NFL level? And for Warren too, to get better. Dungy was he was something else.
That was one of the main reasons why it's good for me. I'm a man of faith, and like I said, man, Tony
Mhm.
Dunn just a model guy. So it's like you want to become when you dream of just having a coach, you want a coach like that, a coach that actually cares and he's willing to go to bat for you. Just like nothing better than him.
Yeah.
And then you actually also have to think about it. Tony Dungy took over a Tampa team that was struggling, and he
Mm-hmm.
helped turn that thing around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Doug.
One more thing on Dungy. Okay, one more
Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
Yeah.
on Dungy.
Go
Mm-hmm.
Good.
ahead. Go ahead.
Real quick, just to show you what kind of man he is. He takes them every year they're in the playoffs. And then the owners thought, you know what, we're close, but he's just not enough offensively. We need somebody to take it over the top. They go to the Raiders. They bring in Gruden. The next year they win the Super Bowl. Belichick was out of a job. He was not working at the time. This is before the Colts game. So someone in his church worked at the TV station. She said, "Hey, I talked to Tony's wife. No, I talked to Tony. Would you like to sit down and do an interview with him?" And I said, "Yes, I would." Really, Tony would want to do it. I'm in Tampa Bay media. He got fired on a rainy night and putting his boxes in the car. That was an unbelievable video. So, okay, I called up Tony. Tony, it's Rock. Would you do a sit down interview with me? I just want to know. I go, yeah, sure. Okay, we can do it here. And he goes, you know what, Rock? We better not come to my house. His wife did not like any of the Tampa Bay media. They thought that we didn't, we weren't good to him. But here's what I'm doing. He goes, we'll do it at there's a country club, a golf course. We'll do it there. Oh, yeah, great. We get there at like it's supposed to be at 9 o'clock. We get there at like 9:10. Tony is standing there waiting for us on the curb. We pull over to a parking space with our TV truck. We get out. Tony comes over. Something he wants to carry the sticks, and he carries it's a tripod. He carries that, and then he sits there, and I do the interview. I said, Tony, blah 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 blah. Did it hurt you seeing the team that you built win the Super Bowl with Gruden? And he's like, well, it didn't hurt me because I felt so good for them. I knew Rondé. I knew those guys. I knew those guys. I'm like, he is a better man than me. And then it wasn't long after that, the Colts gave him a shot. He's got Peyton Manning. He gets to the promised land. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
That's just another story on what kind of guy Tony Dungy is.
Yep. Yeah, it's been written and documented that that Super Bowl Gruden one that was inherited by he inherited that from Dungy. So that
Yeah.
is so I'm gonna end it off with my favorite Buccaneer. Um, and he took y'all to the mountaintop two times, man. And Tom Brady is my favorite
All
Buccaneer.
right, all right, all right. Oh, dang. This man ain't never had nothing positive to say about him, but now he wants to.
Tom Brady
And,
Buccaneer.
and, and why is that besides greatness? Why is that?
Hey, It's great to be Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan.
Mike, bring your ass back here.
Now,
No,
I
he gonna have,
I do have another
I'm not coming until he stops.
I do I do have another favorite Buccaneer. He was on that 01 team. Well, the 2002 team. I'm sorry. Joe Jurevicius. Like he was a
Oh
good.
my God.
He was a great. And look, Joe Jurevicius. He did not go to Michigan. He did not play at Michigan. He played at Penn State.
Never mind. I'm good.
He played at Penn State. So it's weird for me to even give him any type of credit. So yes, but Joe Jurevicius, man, he was one of those slot receivers that always created space. He was just that good. And I think, from that 2002 team where Gruden, started his offense, yeah, he doesn't really get enough credit for the role that he played in that season.
You know what, Don? I'm glad you brought that up because you know what Brad Johnson just told me this past summer. When they beat the Eagles and Rondé Barber had that interception of Donovan McNabb, it was the NFC Championship. Great play, no doubt about it. But he's like, Jared Vicious had such a long catch and run, and it was a key moment in that game, and he never gets his due. And I'll never forget it. That year, Joe Jaravicius's little baby died. It was I don't know how he made it through. It was really, really rough. And when we went to Philly, at that time, these budgets were bigger at TV and radio stations. We were there for like the whole week. We were covering practice. And some Eagles, I'm not saying all Eagles fans, but when Joe Jaravicius got off the bus at the team hotel, there were some Eagles fans that were yelling at him about your baby's dead. And I was like,
I
I
hate
don't
this.
know how
Oh,
I ever made it through that. There's some fans that can be brutal. I mean, I know it's not all Eagles fans or whatever, and he had to go in and hear that. And then he ended up having such a good game. So no, he was just a good guy and solid, very solid, solid, solid.
I wish some those Eagles fans. I just wish the worst for them. Yeah. I would never get over. See, I would never get over the game where the Cowboys were playing the Eagles and Michael Irvin was laying on the ground motionless after taking a hit, having a neck injury, and they were cheering. I was like, wow, like yeah, that right there. Just from that point on, I was like, yeah, I had the worst. I like nothing about the Eagles. I don't like. I cannot stand. I hate them more than I hate the Saints.
Mm,
Yeah, that's saying a lot. But
I do not like Eagles fans. I don't.
yeah.
that's saying a lot right there. But go ahead, Don.
All right. So by that
Hey,
said,
hold on. Now, right. The reason why Mike ran off on the camera right here because, like, what you call said,
Bring
Don's every team favorite player involves a Michigan player, so that's the running joke over here.
I got you.
so,
Fine.
so,
That's
so,
fine. I
so if
got
you see
He
one of us
know
running off.
every Michigan Wolverine player that ever played for every organization.
you. Oh, yeah.
All right, go ahead, Don.
all right. So we're gonna go ahead and transition to the last part of the show. So you in the Tampa Bay area, and I've been to Tampa Bay a couple of times. I've been to Busch Gardens, and then I forgot the name of that beach, but it's near St. Petersburg, I believe. Um, I don't know, I forgot. It's the neighborhood that Hulk Hogan lived in, I believe. It's near
Clearwater
that.
Beach or no? Clearwater Beach. I'll tell you, all the beaches though, the beaches area, man, destroyed.
Yeah,
Totally destroyed. And
Mm.
it wasn't even a direct hit. It was 100 miles out. But devastation. Everything is closed. People lost everything. So yeah, I mean, Mother Nature, you know.
dang, yeah. That hurricane, it did a lot of damage. It really did. Yeah, I did check on you the other day, and I'm glad. Hopefully, y'all doing well in that area. So,
Yeah, we're making it through.
hmm
That's good. That's good.
yeah,
Just good. Just glad you wasn't one of the unfortunate ones, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
So,
Don.
I think that was the name of the beach. But tell me about some famous like Tampa Bay food. I know y'all known for the Cuban. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now
That
I
is
haven't Miami yet, but a lot of people say
right.
the Cuban in Tampa Bay is better than the Cuban in Miami. So what all comes on the Cuban in Tampa?
I mean, it's got a certain type of meat that you can't really get anywhere. You got to have the toasted, uh, roll or bun, as they say. It was made back in the day in Ybor City, the Cubans, where they also hand roll cigars.
Hmm.
And that's where it really became famous. But I know Miami has got one. There's also a place in New Jersey, West New York. They made a claim 2 years ago. But it's one of the staples. One of the staples. The Columbia Restaurant is another famous one in Tampa. There's a lot of good eats. Same thing in Atlanta. I know, same thing.
But y'all also known for y'all empanadas though.
I mean, yeah, I like them. Oh, so I get it. You're the food guy you're the food guy on this. Yeah, I
Yes. Yeah.
see. I see. I see. Go ahead,
hmm
Don.
So I know y'all known for y'all empanadas. Like, what's a good empanada spot down there in Tampa?
You know what, man? I don't know. I did do my homework had I known this. Um, I'll have to get back to you. You know, I got one from a truck in one of those food trucks in downtown Tampa a couple of weeks ago. My daughter was performing at the place right there, and I went over and I had a chicken empanada, and oh my God, man, with the sauce that they had on there, it was delicious. But it was from a food truck. Go figure.
It was green sauce or it was red sauce?
It was there was a little bit of red sauce.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
I
I
didn't
see.
know all the sauces. Like, yeah.
The red sauce is good, but I like the green sauce better. The green sauce is just, but when
I
you,
do like the green sauce better, yeah.
yeah, when you get the if you did a chicken with the red sauce, I think the red sauce do match with the chicken. But if you have a steak, you got to get the green sauce with the steak or the beef.
My stomach just started growling all of a sudden.
So what's a what's a go to spot for you, Rob? When you after you finish working, like you want to just go grab not just not a chain place, but like a mama plots, like a famous place down there in Tampa area.
Oh, there is quite a few. There's one place that's got like the best hamburger that you could ever get. It's not that far. I think it might be just called The Hamburger. There's a line out front at like about 11 o'clock, and it's right down the street off of Hillsborough and just a mom and pop place. Tremendous. One of the best restaurants, and I know the guy that's the maitre d because he's Jorge Diaz, he used to play on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is called
Mm.
Fleming's, and it's incredible, man. But I normally would not be able to like afford that. That's a special spot, you know what I'm saying? But he honked a meal for myself and another guy. I almost felt guilty. I mean, just because I did a podcast with him and this and that, it's like, really? All right? You got to be kidding me. And that's called Fleming's. It's on Boy Scout Road. It's not far from the airport. And that is one of my favorites. All that is favorites all time. And again, the Colombian restaurant. It's got a if you like, good Cuban food and old-fashioned stuff and homemade, and that's one of my favorites as well. And they got a couple of different locations, but they were basically mainly out of Ybor City,
Okay, I think I heard of Fleming's before. I think I've seen it on TV
or
somewhere.
Columbia. Yeah, they're good. Check them out.
man. So yeah, man. Look, that already made me hungry. I already ate dinner too, so I feel like I'm.
I'm lying. You was already hungry. Instead of telling that doggone story, talking about it made him hungry. When are you not hungry?
I thought
He can't even lie his way out of it. All right.
I don't know what
Talk about that
to
made
say.
him hungry. He bit.
I,
He
I,
dog.
I, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. But we're gonna go ahead and get up on out of here, man. Like I said, I am hungry for real. Thanks a lot,
I
Don, as
am too.
usual.
Shoot. You talking
Right.
about?
Hey, look, that concludes the big back minute, which means if you eat around this time, your back will get bigger. And there's only one person to blame, and that is Don. But like I said, man, Rock, man, we definitely appreciate you coming on with us,
Absolutely,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Like I said, like I said, once again, man, just tell everybody where they can find you at. Like I said, just go ahead and plug yourself one more time for the people in the back, man.
I know social media, it's at Real Rock Riley, and that's where I put out my stuff.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it was a pleasure to know you guys. You're a bunch of good guys, man. I
Absolutely.
can tell, and we have
Thank
a
you.
lot of fun, and that's what it's all about. So, it's
Hmm.
been an honor and a pleasure for me.
We appreciate it,
Thank
Ruck.
you. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you.
Awesome.
the
Hey,
final.
man, you got some final thoughts that you want to get out? I'm gonna let Dog go after that. Man,
Now, I don't really have anything else that I want to get into. Other than I want to ask Rock one question since Don bringing up food,
Sure.
and I actually live here in Florida. Have you been to Portillo's in
Yes.
Tampa? Okay.
Yes.
Do you
And
like
they're from
Portillo's? That's a
Chicago, as you
Chicago
well
spot.
know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They ain't got no
Okay.
Portillo's down there at Tampa Bay.
Yes, they do. They do. They do.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I didn't know they get Portillo's. Atlanta don't got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portillo's. I'm actually
Man,
from Chicago, Rock. So I wondered if you had Portillo's. If you haven't, you definitely have to try it. Good hot dogs, cheeseburgers, and I know
hey,
salads, anything you want, cheese fries. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a Chicago spot, but it's here in Tampa. So and now it's one down the street from my house, actually here in Orlando, in Kissimmee.
So,
So
so,
Oh, we about party at Jew's house
hey,
now. All right.
so they also they make put the cake slice of cake in the shake, right?
yeah,
Yep,
Oh,
yeah,
whoa.
Oh,
yep. They look, they put a slice of cake. It's like a chocolate cake, and they put it in the shake. They mix it in the shake. That's what they known for.
nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
wow.
Y'all can blame me. Y'all can blame me for this big back, man. Y'all can blame
I,
Maybe, yeah, yeah. Portillo's is a
man, my
really good
back
spot.
is
I wouldn't
loaded
know if
with.
you had went Rock, but definitely when
It
y'all come
is.
to Florida, I definitely gotta take y'all to Portillo's. That's a
we
Chicago
definitely.
spot,
Oh,
Florida.
you
So,
I
no,
Oh, we
true.
am.
definitely may take the
I,
trip. Believe
like
that.
Oh, we
close,
taking that trip.
closer to Chicago, and I definitely make that trip. I didn't know they had it in Florida.
See,
I'm like, they need to. I'm gonna have to write them, tell them they need to open up a franchise here in Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
see
Right.
now,
Them.
now I
Yes.
got see now I gotta go to Poppy's this weekend because now I want some Cuban food. Y'all, these mother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking the same thing in my head. Thanks a lot, Don. We appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, you got any final words you want to give before you?
Nope, I'm hungry, so I would need to get this show up with. I need to find something to eat right about now.
So
I'm
so
hungry.
so the
Me
final
too.
book,
All of a
man.
sudden, I want a Cuban cigar and some chili cheese fries and something else.
Mm.
What
So
you
man,
about to say now?
final buck, man. Thank you for coming on again, man. Hey, hopefully we can have you on again when we do
Mm-hmm.
the second game of the season.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Be my honor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, appreciate you, man.
And on that note, y'all, man, hey, like you said, we about to get something to eat. Until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no!
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, nigga.
You don't have to go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of here.
OG Sam's supposed to be coming on in about 20 something minutes, so y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. He's gonna give you the late night pep rally with the tea. Deuces. Don, you see
Yeah,
this.
all of a sudden I'm hungry now. Like,
See,
good God
see,
Almighty.
see, I got that song playing in my head. Big back, big back,
Uh,
big back, big back. Yeah, my back is loaded up with snacks and different
Jesus.
foods.
Oh my God.
hey man,